You remember our venerable house? Opulent and imperial, gazing proudly from its stoic perch above the moor. I lived all my years in that ancient, rumor-shadowed manor, fattened by decadence and luxury. And yet I began to tire of conventional extravagance. Singular, unsettling tales suggested the mansion itself was a gateway to some fabulous and unnameable power. With relic and ritual, I bent every effort towards the excavation and recovery of those long-buried secrets, exhausting what remained of our family fortune on swarthy workmen and sturdy shovels. At last, in the salt-soaked crags beneath the lowest foundations, we unearthed that damnable portal of antediluvian evil. Our every step unsettled the ancient earth. But we were in a realm of death and madness. In the end, I alone fled laughing and wailing through those blackened arcades of antiquity, until consciousness failed me. You remember our venerable house, opulent and imperial. It is a festering abomination. I beg you, return home, claim your birthright, and deliver our family from the ravenous, clutching shadows of the darkest dungeon.
Alright, hello everybody, this is Canuta with the first episode of Darkest Dungeon. Now, of course, don't know how much you guys could gather, don't know how much you guys know about the Lovecraftian world. That is the world where Cthulhu and many other elder gods live. Darkest Dungeon is based in that world. Excuse me. It is also a tactical... Hold on. Let's see. First, Vandroth. It is also a tactical resource management roguelike. And I completely misspelled that name. Vandroth. There we go. So I'm going to show you how this game works.
You will arrive along the old road. It winds with a troubling, serpent-like suggestion through the corrupted countryside, leading only, I fear, to ever more tenebrous places. There is a sickness in the ancient, pitted cobbles of the old road, and on its writhing path, you will face viciousness, violence, and perhaps other damnably transcendent terrors. So steel yourself, and remember there can be no bravery without madness. The old road will take you to hell, but in that gaping abyss, we will find our redemption.
Now, the person talking to us is actually our dead relative. As we're on this loading screen, I will explain a few things. It'll take a little while. The narrator, as I said, is the dead relative, the man who shot himself at the beginning of the game. And we are not any of the characters that we will see. Instead, we are building up the town and sending out these expeditions, and throughout the game we will be in charge of these expeditions as they discover heirlooms and clear areas of the mansion and the surrounding countryside of monsters, bandits, and otherworldly horrors. There are many things to keep track of in this game, such as food and light, and where monsters are, where traps are, who can disarm traps the best, but also, it introduces something else that very few games actually take into account, and that is the stress of your adventurers. The more stressed they become, the more excuse me. The more stressed they become, the more likely they are to get a either a good or a bad buff. And odds are they'll get a bad buff if they become stressed, but it's always great to have somebody get to 100 stress and get a good buff. Like, they, rather than succumbing to the horrors, they find new bravery. But we'll see more of that once the game actually starts. I'm going to go ahead and skip ahead until it actually starts. Oh, no, wait, there it goes. Okay. So we have two people. We have a tutorial, that's what we have. To move forth, click on another room on the map, which is down here. The light meter is up here at the top, and each of these points is another level of light. Now, right now, we have increased chances of scouting and increased chances of surprising the monsters that we find. At lower light levels, we take more stress damage, there's less chances of scouting, less chances of monsters being surprised, and when you reach about 50 light, even worse things start happening. Monsters have an increased chance to surprise you. They become more accurate and do more damage. But you also will find more loot. So it's a risk versus reward scenario. And you have to figure out, okay, do I need the money really badly?
Keep to the side path. The hamlet is just ahead.
Do I need money really badly, or do I need to keep my guys sane and alive? Unfortunately, Fraps does not seem to like this computer. Don't worry, I'm going to be fixing that very soon, guys. I apologize that this is a little laggy, but that will change. Trust me, guys. And in fact, that will change pretty soon, just a couple of days, so you won't have to deal with probably more than this video and the next being laggy. I do want to tell you guys as well that there will be no videos between January 21st and January 23rd because I will be out of town and unable to make videos, and I just don't have the time to pre-record stuff beforehand. I'm going to try, but odds are you're not going to see a video for those days. Of course, the light level went down. Oh, we still surprised them. Awesome.
And their kind is no longer welcome.
Of course, these little lights down here say who has turns left or who has actions left. I'm gonna try and stun this guy, although he's got a high stun resistance. Alright, so monsters being surprised in a round does not mean that they will skip their turn. Instead, it just means that you will get through all of your actions before they get to theirs. Now let's see, Dismas has higher accuracy and damage currently. There we go, kills one. Awesome.
Maintain the offensive.
Ha-ha! But right now, we also are suffering from debuffs. I'm going to give myself a protection, so I take 25% less damage. Alright, so everyone's bleeding currently. He's still got 2 rounds increased accuracy and all that, so I'm going to go ahead and use that, and we'll just try to take this guy out. I have a few moves down here, like I have the Stunning Blow, which has a chance to stun the enemy, but I also have, for Reynold the Crusader, he has Zealous Accusation, which is his, I believe, only area of effect attack. For Dismas here, I have Open Veins, which causes the enemy to bleed, Pistol Shot, which is for one target in the 3rd, 2nd, or 4th position. Grape Shot Blast, which is his area of effect shot for the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd positions, and the Tracking Shot, which increases his damage, accuracy, and critical rate. Or sorry, yeah, critical rate. Okay, cool. So this guy is gonna go down right now.
The greater the glory.
Now I know that there's a chest sitting there, but without a key, that chest is always poisonous in the tutorial, and there's no treasure in it. So I'm just gonna return to Hamlet. We got 5,000 gold, as well as some money for the food I didn't consume, and for each of these jewels, as well as the normal money that I got. At the end of each level, everyone has a chance to get fresh abilities and bad traits. So, Backtracker, no stress penalty when walking backwards. If you decide to walk backwards from room to room, you don't turn around. Instead, your people gain more stress as you walk backwards and your back is basically unguarded. He also has -5 max HP. This guy has plus 10% protection, but minus 10% death blow resistance. Now, when one of your people reaches 0 HP, they don't just die. They are instead on death's door, and they have a chance to die every time they take damage. This can be from any source: poison, bleeding, being attacked by anything.
Such as it is.
If you heal them, they go off of death's door.
These corrupted lands, they are yours now, and you are bound to them.
Now, we have 3 different things that are open to us, but only one of these actually helps us right now.
You will know the tragic extent of my failings.
And it is because of our ancestor that this whole area is just overrun with monsters.
Most will end up here, covered in the poisoned earth, awaiting merciful oblivion.
As I complete areas, different places will unlock, and that'll give me more options to help myself. Right now, the stagecoach is open, and
men, soldiers and outlaws, fools and corpses.
after the tutorial,
Will find their
it's
way
always
to
the
us
same
now that
people.
The road is clear.
The Vestal, which is a healer slash buffer as well as damager, and a plague doctor who specializes in giving enemies the plague and curing the plague as well. And of course that is our town keeper. It's not us, but he takes care of the town.
More arrive, foolishly seeking fortune and glory in this domain of the damned.
So, after every expedition, more people will be awaiting in the stagecoach. I'm going to try to lose as few people as possible, but death will happen. So, with that, I'm going to leave this episode off. I know it was kind of short, but I just want to go ahead and get this done, and I will see you guys in the next episode, alright? Thanks, guys. Bye-bye.